more love, more joy, everything.
It's inspired young people.
Inspiration comes from within you. When you clear out the garbage that's in your mind, you then create space for something better, more beautiful to come in.
Let's have life and have it more abundantly.
I say yes.
It's like taking a workshop. I get to be in my pajamas.
We have a very active imagination, which is why it's important to learn how to harness it and then point it in the direction you want to go.
I listen to your show every day.
It's time now for Living Your Inspired Life with Susan Burrell. Susan is no-nonsense, inspirational, motivational, and fun.
This is Positive Talk Radio.
Practical wisdom for everyday life.
It's a gift you give yourself.
Now, here's Susan.
And welcome to Living Your Inspired Life. We are a brand new show. We are airing Sunday nights from 8 to 9. So glad you could join us here on News Talk 1590 KVTA. So I am inviting you to participate every week on our show, Living Your Inspired Life, by tuning in and tuning up and developing your positive power perspective. That's what we're here to do on Living Your Inspired Life every week. And I want to introduce to all of you out there listening, my cohort, Todd Waddingon. Say hey, Todd.
It is great to be your cohort. I feel so fortunate, so lucky. I don't know which one of those words is the right word, but
I'll take them all.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way.
Yeah. I mean, Susan is a wonderful teacher. She's also my friend. I can call you friend.
Yeah.
And, it's a great thing to be seated here looking at you and to be basking in this great knowledge. I mean, I just love these conversations that we have with each other. And now we're going to do it on air. It's great.
Again. And I adore that. I adore the conversation, the discussion, the provoking thought with a lot of fun mixed in. And for those of you that are just tuning in, we did a radio show called Living Your Inspired Life.
We did.
For a year. It was a 5-day-a-week talk show on AM 1400, and it's archived on our website, livingyourinspiredlife.org. So as you're beginning to get attuned to what we do here on Living Your Inspired Life on 1590 KVTA. You can go to the website, livingyourinspiredlife.org, and listen to the past shows because that'll rev you up and it'll get you more aware of what it is we're here to do.
A lot of amazing speakers, people on there. I heard Lloyd Tupper in the opening. I think he was on a number of times.
Lloyd Tupper, Terry Cole Whitaker, who's going to be our guest coming up.
Coming on, yeah.
Yeah. Terry Cole Whitaker. We had Larissa Stowe, who's a New Thought singer-songwriter and amazing life coach. And we had Greg Braden on.
Yes.
Who's an author and many authors. So and
Judith Orloff.
Right? So we're going to have those people and a plethora of more.
I saw Nipun Mehta on here.
Yes.
On the roster.
Yes. So let's talk about him for just a minute, and then we'll talk about what we're going to be doing. So Nipun has developed this idea of service out in the world, and he's a phenomenal human being. Todd and I have both seen him speak, and you just get so filled up with love and gratitude when you're in the room with him, don't you?
Yeah, he's all about kindness. I mean, that's his whole, if you want to call it ministry, that's what he's all about. And he's involved with a couple of websites. One of them is kindspring.org. And right now, there's a challenge to do 21 days of kindness. It started on September 11th.
Yeah.
And you can check in anytime on the website, and they'll send you emails. And it's something as simple as buying someone's groceries who's behind you, or doing anonymous, buying somebody a cup of coffee, or just helping somebody in a way that they will never know who did it. And you can find out a lot of information at his website, which is kindspring.org, and find out about how to, what and the ripple effect, right, of this kindness, what happens when, if I were to just do something like pay for your groceries and you were in line, how would you feel? How would you respond to that?
Well, and it's not just about
money, right?
Well, and it's not just about doing a kindness act for someone else. What Todd and I know, what we know is that when you do something of service, of kindness, coming from an open heart, it it cycles back to you. You know, it's that kind of idea of the law of cause and effect. And that's what we're going to be all about on Living Your Inspired Life. We're going to have tools and skill sets that we're going to share with you on how to activate your life in a more positive and, productive, for lack of a better word right now. And what's another better word?
Proactive.
Right.
Yeah.
Conscious. We're here about waking up consciousness within you, going within and finding that place of inspiration that you can tap into at any moment, at any time. Because what I know to be so is that all our questions lie within us, and all our answers or solutions to those questions lie within us. We don't have to necessarily outsource anything once we learn how to tune in and tune up to that life, that infinite wisdom that resides within us. And so that's why the show is called Living Your Inspired Life. It's about finding that inspiration so that then you can go out and just live it. And I got to tell you, we're going to be talking this for the next few weeks about CrossRoads. And for me personally, going within and really finding out who I am inside of me, as opposed to looking at all the different people and things I've done in my outer life, right, has totally, in the last couple of years especially, built me anew. It's opened up my heart to keep going within and finding out more of the truth of who I am, not my expectations or not what people put on me, but really who am I and what do I believe? And that takes a lot of courage to go within and develop a powerful perspective of yourself and your life. Yeah? Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, the one thing that's been coming up for me lately in going in and seeing who I am and all this stuff, and it's really kind of a new thing for me, is to honor the darkness, because we're all dark and light, and we can't have light without dark and all that stuff. But how to be with that and not indulge it, but just, you know, there's no way to get through the rough periods of our life unless we just kind of sit with it and go through it. And we're going to have all sorts of experts on who know how to do that in great ways that I couldn't articulate right here.
Yeah. Well, I love that you brought up that part about the light and the dark, because what you're saying about being with it and going through it, a lot of times when people are at a crossroads in their life where, and that could be experiencing a sudden death, or a sudden loss of a job, or it could even be, what's been leading up to for a while, whether it's a relationship that's really gone, it's really come to the end of its completion, of its time, the expiration date showed up and you didn't know there was an expiration date, or it's financial,
something.
Yeah. Or empty nest. I'm working with a lot of clients right now. I do coaching, and I'm working with a lot of clients that are at that 50 mark of life, the age 50 mark, and that seems to be shaking people to their foundation of, oh, this is what I've done for 50 years. Who am I now? What does I want to do the rest of my life? And usually it's what I'm observing is it's happening when the kids are grown and leaving the nest, and the parents go, oh, okay, now what? And so that place of the light and the dark, lots of people don't want to experience the dark. They just want to cut it out. They just want to.
Well, that's part of the whole, the consciousness group of people. Some call it the New Thought movement. There's a lot of this, like, let's put an affirmation on it. It's all positive, 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 positive. And then what we end up having is about 16 Band-Aids on that dark little spot that could have just been, released.
Right. Or in my house, it's Post-its, tons of Post-its. On top of the Band-Aid.
And affirmations absolutely have their place, visualizing, but if we're just sort of layering things on top of stuff that isn't moving, then, something else has to be done. Right.
So that's what we're going to be also talking about on Living Your Inspired Life, because we do promote affirmations, but in a way that takes you deep, that opens your heart and takes you deep, and not like what we're just talking about, a Post-it or a Band-Aid. It's about really using affirmations and some other skill sets that we're going to be bringing forward to go into those places that, those closets that we've closed that have all those dark, spooky, ooey guys. Oh, yeah. When I was a kid, I was always afraid of the monster in my closet, and I could not go to sleep with the door open. But that's what we're going to invite you to do is not go to sleep with the door open, but maybe you have to, but go within that closet in your mind or your heart where there's something that you think is so ugly you don't want to see. And together we'll help you. Todd and I will help you uncover really what is that in that little corner of that closet.
Does that mean you and I have to go skydiving together?
Oh,
think.
God.
That's something. That's one of my I nevers. It's not on my bucket list. I have no
Me
interest
neither.
in doing it.
What can we do something else besides skydiving?
Okay, so we don't have to go skydiving.
We don't have to
change our lives. Okay, good.
So I'm just segueing a bit. This summer I gifted myself. I'm going through a crossroads in my life, which is why we decided Living Your Inspired Life needs to be on the air again, and. So I gifted myself a trip to Scotland, and the biggest thing for me, I joined a group that was of 10 people that were over there, and the biggest thing for me was getting on the plane to go by myself. I didn't have a partner going with me, I didn't have a friend going with me, and I was going to go into this new group of people that I hadn't really met, and it was a huge deal for me. In fact, I called a friend right before another friend was coming to pick me up, and I was having a meltdown. I was sobbing like, what am I doing? Oh. But when I got to Scotland, it was so amazing and so magical. And the thing that we were doing was just hiking in these sacred forests and going to stone circles and castles. And then, of course, having a wee bit of scotch at the end of the day and stuff like that. It was miraculous. And there was a person on this trip that kept saying, you've got to push your physical envelope. If you have to face your fears by doing something physical. Like she wanted me to do a ropes course. Okay. You get me. I'm a girl. I don't do ropes course. And at some point I had to say, if we're going to, because this was at a spa we were going to have 2 days at. And she really was encouraging people to do these physical things. I've just been hiking my Gatoodalem up and down mountains. I'm not going to do a ropes course. I want a massage. That's me. So when you say skydiving, I believe that it's important to face your fears, but it's individual how you face them. And sometimes you might need a coach or someone to kind of push you if you're really refusing to face that fear and move through it. But it's all individual. Some people's fear isn't about doing a physical thing that then proves to them that they can do it. That's what we're here about on Living Your Inspired Life, is to develop an inner perspective of the mystical side of life. I mean, I was walking in these amazing mystical forests, so that's my best word right there. But to really develop that inner awareness that there's something else besides you and that you are more than what you think. And sometimes facing the fear looks like sitting down to meditate.
Yes.
Some people can't sit down to meditate because they're afraid that if they open up their mind, well, there's some people that believe the devil's going to come in. I don't believe that. But there's other people I was that way before I started to become a person who meditates. I was afraid that I was going to really find those really dark, awful, horrible parts about myself, and I was going to have to address them.
Right.
And well, this is just a sidebar, but when I started to meditate, I found out that there wasn't really all that ugly stuff inside. There was like this really beautiful stuff inside me. So some people, they have a hard. My point is that it doesn't matter how you face your fear. If you got to jump out of a plane, go for it. Todd and I will be on the ground waving with a bottle of champagne. Woo!
Yeah, well, some people are sitting right here. For me, and what I call spiritual practice or meditation or any of those things, sometimes it's not about fear, but actually just some kind of sabotage, an old pattern that says, I might actually feel better if I do that. And I actually will find myself, turning into an ugly curmudgeon. I'm not going to sit down and meditate. And this like little devil forked tongue voice comes through me. And it's like anything that's possibly, I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream instead. Or, I'm going to do something that's just going to make me feel worse, So I can do a number of like beating up on myself and
Well,
and
so
not-
how good it is that we have each other and that our listeners now have Living Your Inspired Life, because we together with our team, the behind the scenes team of Living Your Inspired Life, will support you in whatever transformation it is that you want to undertake, or whatever exploration or excavation that you want to do. We're here for that, because this is really about dropping in, tuning up, and developing your personal positive power perspective. Because what I've come to understand in my life, however long it's been thus far, is that if I can change my perspective just 1 degree, even 1 degree, if I can see things in my life that are occurring, the bad stuff, the good stuff, with 1 degree difference, or even 1 degree of separation, just to stand back and observe. If I can do that, then that field of infinite possibilities opens up, and I have so many more choices than what I thought.
Yeah, I used to think that things had to change 180 degrees for my life to
Yeah.
change. And then I realized that just slightest shift changes everything.
Everything. And that's called the butterfly effect.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, because did you know that?
I don't know. I like the way that sounds.
Because the butterfly, there's this idea of that a butterfly can flap its wings on one side of the planet, and it affects weather conditions and global changes on the other side, because it becomes amplified, that vibration of the butterfly flapping its wings. And I believe that that's true in our thought process as well. If we can shift one perspective, just a little bit, we can change all of the way we see life, and then it downloads within us, right? It just becomes part of who we are, and that perspective opens us up. My experience of these crossroads I've been at for the last couple of years has been a profoundly inward journey that has changed how I see things. And consequently, and this is what I'm really excited about, is my heart is more open than I thought it could ever be. And I thought I was pretty open-hearted. My heart is more open. I have more love for myself first and foremost, and more love for those people around me, so that when I'm going to those dark places of having to navigate something I really don't like, or I'm angry about or hurt about, my open heart and my love has become that place that moves me through. And we're going to be talking about that.
Well, some people feel that the whole world, the universe, or if you will, is in a crossroads. And I think, what I'm seeing, and I know this is not a political show, we don't really need to go there, but just one little observation is from the time we went into Iraq to the thing that's going on in Syria now, 60% of the American people do not want to go to war. Now, there may be for a bunch of reasons, but that's just an example of it's interesting. I mean, it's just interesting if you just look at it objectively.
I appreciate you bringing that up, Todd, because that's part of what Living Your Inspired Life is going to be about, is about finding those places where you can become the objective observer, not only in the outer world of what's happening and with the economy or the environment or the politics or the whatever, but within yourself. I am the objective observer of my life. And so what we're also going to be talking about is becoming conscious, right? And so we're going to be talking about conscious businesses. We'll bring on some local businesses and hopefully some national businesses that are doing business consciously, which means like Patagonia is a good one of those. What is my footprint in business, and how am I affecting the environment because of the business I do? But also, in conscious business, there are people out there that are intentionally doing business to support their employees, not just by giving a paycheck, but mental health wise, emotionally. But also, how do I support my customers better? So good customer service, but from a place of, like we were talking about, of kindness,
right.
Of open-hearted.
Well, Mehta and the Homeboys Project. It's the gang members off the street, and they're working, and they're contributing to and it's an amazing stuff. I can't. Again, he's going to have to speak to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. He's going to be on in a few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. And we're also going to be talking about, so I'm using this word conscious, I don't know. We can pick another word. I don't know what that is, but right now that's the only word I can pull out of the air. But so I want to talk about conscious business people and support them in what they're doing. But also, there's a lot of people that are doing nonprofit work. And when we were on the air on the other station, and you can go to livingyourinspiredlife.org and check it out. When we were on the air during that time, we had lots of nonprofits that were doing good work. Whether it was this group of boys out of Santa Barbara that had created water that they were giving. They would go and put in water filtration systems at various third world villages.
Autism ambassadors.
Yes.
Zach. I'm forgetting
Kukoff.
his last name. Zach Kukoff, yes.
I think. Yes, and yes, that. Another young man who developed a whole nonprofit about kids seeing their autistic peers in a different way and supporting them in really kind of becoming more integrated into their social network. So that to me is social business, all of that, whether it's for-profit or non-profit. And we want to highlight the people that are doing the good work, that are creating a world that works for everyone, because that's a cornerstone for living your inspired life. Reaching out and supporting each other in creating a world that works for everyone. And we're also going to be talking about conscious environment. And maybe we'll become like the bridge between the environmental activists and the people that aren't so much,
Right.
and that have the money that could maybe come together, integrate, synthesize to make a difference in a conscious way.
And I think there's a conversation between this is right and this is wrong, right? Pro-life, pro-choice, fracking, no fracking.
Right.
Maybe there's a middle ground for everything that really people don't talk about.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that goes back to what you said earlier about you thought every change would be 180. To me, that speaks about where we have this black and white thinking. There's an either or. And really, what I'm committed to, and I know what you're committed to as well, Todd, is that in living your inspired life, we do find that middle ground. When we live our inspired life individually, we can then see how other people have been inspired, and we can begin to have a third conversation that isn't about the black and the white.
Right, with lots of screaming.
Right, or anger or fear.
Right.
We're all about, I'm all about erasing the fear as much as possible so that I can move forward in my life. And I think that that's what's needed globally is erasing the fear so much that I can, or anyone can then take a step in a positive direction toward really living a life that is full. And I mean financially well. I mean healthy, all of that, beautiful. So we're just calling that in, right?
Yeah, yes. That all sounds good to me. I take it and I say yes.
Yes. Well, and this is the other piece that we're going to, and that will inform people about some of the guests that we're going to have on, because we're going to have very well-known international people that have written transformative books about transformation.
Great.
And whether or not it's science, with quantum physics and the work that Braden does and some of the other people, or whether it's a mental science that develops spiritual principles and integrity and a real place where you can make conscious choices as opposed to unconscious choices in your life. So so I'm calling that conscious evolution. Like when you wake up, you go, oh yeah, I do want a better life than what I got right now. My life's good, but maybe I want something more. And that's like the human condition. That's part of what we always strive for humanly anyway, is to be in a place of change and open to and allowing in and expressing from. So I think I need to take a breath. So what we're going to do, we'll come back to that. What we're going to do is I want to introduce one of my favorite singer-songwriters with a song that she's written. Her name is Karen Drucker, and you can find her online and download her stuff. She's on YouTube as well, karendrucker.com. And the song we're going to listen to is We Are the Ones. We'll be right back on Living Your Inspired Life.
We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are. We are. We are the ones. We are. We are. I've been feeling like I can't make a difference. I've been feeling like there ain't no use. Feeling tired and a little unconscious. Coming up with every kind of excuse till I realized it's not all up to me. When we join together, we shape our destiny to see a world where we are living as one. It can be, it shall be, it will be done. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. We are the ones. We are. We are. Yes, we are the ones. We are. We are. No one else gonna make the changes. No savior gonna drop from the sky. Nothing left to do but wake up. 'Cause it's really up to you and I to take it one step at a time. Stand together with your hand in mine. Then we will see the world that we've been dreaming about. We need it now, the time is now, there is no doubt. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. We are the ones who will make a difference. We are the ones who will change the world. I know we are the ones. We are. We are. We are the ones. We are. We are. And I am the one that I've been waiting for. I know I am the one who will make that difference. I am the one who will change the world. Yes, I am the one. I am. I am. I know I am the one. I am.
Welcome back to Living Your Inspired Life. I'm Susan Burrell. I'm here in the studio with Todd Waddington. You're listening to News Talk 1590 KVTA, and we are so excited to be here and spend this time with you. We were just talking about what the show and the upcoming shows are going to look like and feel like. And one of the other things I wanted to mention is we're going to talk about the body-mind-spirit connection and how the body and the mind interact in ways that it seems like it's kind of everybody pretty much knows about this stuff, right?
Well, that's not necessarily. Let me just tell you, there are a couple things going on with my body right now, and I think that if we look at it from a mind body, maybe you can help me out here. And my shoulder. There's something going on with my shoulder. I just was putting my shirt on one day, and all of a sudden my shoulder started hurting, and then it went away, and then it started hurting and hurting and hurting, and I went to my chiropractor who sent me to an osteopath. We had an MRI done.
Oh my goodness!
And I have a shoulder that's got tears and fraying and tendonitis and a little bit of bursitis, a little bit of arthritis.
You got everything.
And the osteopath said, I went in kind of depressed, and she said, well, you're just very active. But this is what I have to be honest about, because I have some lower back issues too. my little intuition, that little voice that they, that little still small voice you're supposed to listen to has been going over and over, Todd, you need to do yoga. You really need to start doing some yoga. You really need to be stretching. And, this isn't like just a couple weeks. It's like 3 years I've
Todd
been hearing
Waddingon.
this. So
you need to do some yoga.
So I don't know where I probably just derailed your conversation about mind-body. But
you've asked, and I'm giving you the answer.
So that's my mind-body thing. It's
right,
like,
but you've
I'm getting the message, and I totally didn't listen.
Right. So you just illustrated to our listeners how when you go inside and listen to the inspiration, that little voice inside of you, then you have your answer. So you started that asking me, what do I think? But you have the answer. So, all right, next time we speak, I want to hear about the yoga class you've signed up for.
And I got to use one of those rollers and roll out these leg muscles.
Yep.
You'll be hearing
done
me
that.
Scream 30 miles away.
Yeah, but see, once you do all that stuff, when you take care of yourself by listening to your inner wisdom, as well as doing the physical stuff that takes care of the body, then all of it becomes integrated and it's easy. And the doing the roller to get your muscles stretched will eventually not be a hard, painful thing.
Right.
It's just because.
That's right.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is why I love you so much. You're my best guinea pig, because for you, to not listen for that long of a period of time, it took your shoulder and your back becoming so tight because, think about it. When a child gets upset, they don't relax and they get tight, right? They clench, they stamp their feet, they yell, they scream, and that's what the body does to get our attention. It's like we've got to pay attention to whatever is happening inside, and that's important. So we're going to have experts and people that have written amazing books about the mind-body connection come on the show so that we have a larger understanding and skill sets on how to deal with that. So you don't have to wait 3 years and then finally go, oh, I should be taking yoga.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. I want to, because I'm all about reading quotes, because I collect quotes like shoes. And I have a closet full of shoes. But I want to read a quote by my favorite philosopher, because really what we're talking about is waking up and becoming self-aware. And when we become self-aware, then we have more choices. We become aware that we have choice in our lives because we're not necessarily sure we have choice. So here is this quote by Ernest Holmes, and it's about self-awareness. He says, it means a clearing up in the mind of the unconscious repressions and conflicts which are so deeply buried that we are aware of them only because they re-echo in everything we do, say, and think. Re-echoing. That's why, it keeps showing up until we pay attention to it, right? And then he goes on to say, coming to oneself, coming to awareness, coming to understand why and how we started on the wrong path emotionally, explaining this to the self, this is what is meant by self-awareness. But self-awareness alone is not enough for this reason. There is an incessant urge back of everything to create, to express life, to come to the gratification of happiness, peace, joy, and self-expression. And self-awareness is not enough. It is merely clearing the track for right action, for self-expression. And I got to tell you, I am all about that. I want to be self-expressed so fully, so joyfully, having fun in my life, that creative urge, like he says, that creative impulse continues to get fed and expressed and fed and expressed. And what we're talking about here, folks, is a law of circulation. We're talking about the creative process, and we're going to go more into that in future shows, so you listening can have skills and tools to use to begin to really excavate what is that creative urge that wants to be expressed by means of you. Because really, as human beings, this is my belief, but as human beings, we're here to be fully us. We're not here to get to work a job we hate, make a minimum wage, or barely paying our bills, or barely having health, or barely having love. We're here to have it all. We live in this amazing universe that just keeps giving us more, but only to the degree that we can say yes to it, that we can accept it.
Yes.
And we're seeing this in technology too. You know, the technology in the last few years has just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. And and everybody's getting involved in it. You know, it's not necessarily that you have to be a technology company to be involved in technology and develop something new. So a lot of these apps that are coming out give the individual creative license, creative opportunity to do and be more. So I'm excited.
And not get anything done.
Well, yeah, then there's that. I don't know how to work that. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah, I can definitely play. And you know what keeps coming up for me though, in all of this wonderful stuff is like I hear that quote, I've read that quote, and it feels good. And I'm one of those people who needs to hear this stuff all the time. So if there's anybody out there who says, you know, because I hear teachers, wonderful people that I love, and I just make an assumption when I hear a Doreen Virtue or any of these Louise Hay, they just got it all together. They wake up in the morning and it's like that. Maybe it is. But I know if you know their whole story, it wasn't always that way.
Right. And I got to tell you, it's probably not always that way right now.
Right.
Do you know?
Right.
So because, and let me just say that because then I want to hear what you had. There's something else you wanted to say behind that, I know. But because we're human beings and we live in a human conditioned world, most of the time, unless we do this inner connection and work, so that what happens is it's almost like we're in bumper cars bumping into each other, and then we go, oh my God, and then I had that experience, or I had that consequence, or I had that, I'm in this horrible situation, and it becomes the work to do, the conscious work to do, is to be more aware than not, to be more awake than not. Now, I think if you're awake 100% of the time, if you're conscious 100% of the time, you just get to go bye-bye, you're not the guru or the whatever Swami sitting on the mountaintop, or the Buddhist in the cave, we are all here to interact and teach and support and collaborate with each other to lift each other into a place, into a world that works for everyone. So, and that reminds me, we're going to have on the show coming up a young man whose name is Timber Hawkeye, and he's written this great book. I'm going to get you a copy, Todd. This great book called Buddhist Boot Camp, and he's got a site, BuddhistBootCamp.com, and this man became a Buddhist monk. I believe he was living in India, but he's going to come on and tell his story. But what's happened is he decided he didn't want to be in a monastery for the rest of his life, meditating on, whatever they do in Buddhism, which he's going to share with us. I don't want to spill it. But what he's decided is to go be out in the world at being who he is, which is this deep, spiritual, connected being, and teach and show other people how to be that place of compassion, how to be that place of love, how to be that place of gratitude, instead of sitting in a cave being all that by yourself, where nobody gets, vibrationally, I guess, like the butterfly effect, we all get a hit on that, right?
Right.
But, I really believe it's up to us as human beings to connect. So I'm excited to have him on. He's really fun, and he's got a wonderful, powerful, positive perspective on life that I just am loving sharing and listening to. So,
I love hearing about that, because I love hearing about people who are doing things that we already know about, but found that it didn't work for them to do it in the traditional way.
Yeah.
And that's my thing, because I have found myself a number of times in my life talking about CrossRoads, saying, who am I now? After moving from one coast to the other and trying to find my way in California, and what am I doing now with my life? I have a background in musical theater and acting, and then I got into a more of a spiritual path, but I'm still kind of searching where I'm really going to land. And when I hear those kinds of stories, I think, yeah, I don't have to do it the way other people are doing it. So just, listen to Susan Burrell, do my homework, and allow what what comes up to, and do it.
Well, that's what we're going to navigate on Living Your Inspired Life here every Sunday from 8 to 9 on News Talk Radio 1590 KVTA. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about how do we navigate these new waters, because really what's occurring is there are new paradigms. Sorry, I had 5 thoughts and they all wanted to come out of my mouth at once. There are new paradigms that are unfolding now that we've never experienced. Our ancestors have not experienced, and we are the ones. That's why I wanted to play Karen Drucker's song, We Are the Ones. We are the ones that are here at this time on this planet right now to do this transformative work, to open up this new paradigm that wants to be on the planet. And I personally believe it's about being interconnected to everyone and everything, that there is only this one vast intelligence that is all loving and all pervasive, and we are all in it. It doesn't matter what religion you are, or what color you are, or what your sexual preference. We're all connected, and to me that is what diversity is. And then coming together to really be here present with each other so that this new way of being can really begin to download on the planet. I mean, it's downloading anyway. This is what we're seeing with all the stuff that's happening in the Middle East. It's like a birthing, and what happened in Egypt. Everybody was, ecstatic that Facebook helped the Egyptians change their political modality, and then it's changed back again or different. And we get to witness each other globally transforming personally. Wow, how amazing is that?
It is amazing. The other day I was just settling into, and this may be tangential, but just that we're all born at a special time, at perhaps the perfect time. And I was thinking about this during the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington.
Yeah.
And that I'm 54 now, so I was a baby or a young boy when that happened, and what's happening today, and all of the things that happened in those 50 years. And I thought, wow, I was born for this time. I don't know what it is I'm supposed to do about that clearly, but I'm so invested in it. I'm so excited about that, and that there must be a reason that I'm here at this time.
I think so.
I'm starting to get that now at a deeper level.
Yeah, I think so. Well, and I think that's what a lot of people, when we come to the crossroads of our lives, there's a more awareness about the global wisdom, I guess. In Native American culture, when people hit their wisdom years, they were revered because they had lived long enough to then have a larger perspective on life that they would hold for the entire tribe. But getting to that point, right? We stumble along. We get tripped up. It's like, well, if I'm not this, then what am I? Or I'm going to do this. Well, that didn't work out, so we think. Or I'm going to do this. Well, that didn't work out, so we think. And yet everything that we've done in our individual lives, as well as culturally and globally, right? Nationally and globally, has led us to this point. So that now it's going to work. Now is the time.
And that gives us a reason, and I say this with a bit of cynicism because I
love your cynicism.
I can roll my eyes, but I do believe.
He's rolling his eyes.
I'm rolling my eyes, and I believe it at the same time that when we're dealing with things that seem like they're really just the most incredible obstacle that we've ever dealt with. I have a special needs child whom I adore. I mean, I love my daughter. And it's one of the most difficult things day to day that I have to deal with. And I'm so used to dealing with it that I don't even think about it until I articulate it like this. And I say this on air because there may be somebody else out there that says, boy, I feel like a lousy parent because I...
Oh, yeah.
But I also know that somehow when I can stand back from it and get that perspective, as we were talking about earlier, that I know it's contributing to some much bigger picture within me and I guess the planet as well that I'm not even in touch with. But that one day I'll go, oh, that's what all that was.
Yeah. So, it's interesting as you're saying that, Todd. I'm wondering if we, in our individual life challenges, are not here. If we can navigate those challenges and really heal from them or really change because of them, we're doing it for everyone. Just like you said. I mean, that's my take on what you just said.
Okay, yeah,
is that
yeah.
that as you navigate what's going on with your daughter and on a daily, minute-by-minute basis, you are setting, it's the butterfly effect. Hey, oh my gosh, that's what it is. You have set in motion this vibration, all right, that is going to support other people that have the same stuff going on, and they don't, and you don't even have to meet. This is a quantum physics idea. It's about non-locality. You don't have to be in the same place to affect change. It can happen, across a country or whatever. So, wow, I appreciate you sharing that, because in my last couple of years of the challenges I've gone through, the way and it's been very rough and very deep, but every time I get through to the other side of it, whatever that is, I know I have changed fundamentally within myself, down to my cells. And I know that that's affecting other people that I may not have met, that I may never meet. Wow. Now there's a concept.
Right.
Talk about conscious stuff.
And when we're going through it, we think, I will never use this.
Right.
A job that feels like drudgery.
Right.
And yet all of those pieces come together to form a Buddhist who goes out and
Yes, I'm telling you. Wait till you hear his
Buddhist,
story. Oh my gosh. Well, and it's interesting because my son is 19, going to junior college, and and calling me, Mom, why am I taking these classes? Mom, why am I doing this? And, working a temporary job. Mom, why am I doing this? And I'm like, because this is leading you to the next step, and you don't know it yet. This is not your forever life. All of this is transitory, which is life anyway, right? Everything is transitory in my mind, which means that everything is always in a constant state of change. It's dynamic. Life is dynamic, and we can either resist it and fight against it and dig our heels in, which, believe me, I've done that a lot, kicking and screaming. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to change. You can't make me. Or we can allow ourselves to soften enough mentally, emotionally, and physically to go with the flow, go with the dynamic of life, of the way it moves through us and expresses through us. And this is the stuff that, again, you can find out on the website, livingyourinspiredlife.org. We're going to have stuff, we already have stuff up there to inspire you to do things with your life. And we've got homework that's on the website that you can download and
Playwork.
All right.
For people like me who hear homework and go, I'll never look at that.
Go upset. See, for me, I hear homework and I'm like, all right, I'll get it done. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of that stuff. And mostly because what we want to do here on Living Your Inspired Life is open people to this idea that no matter where you are, no matter what's going on, in that moment you can start right where you are to begin to see your life differently, to begin to develop your positive power perspective that will open up windows and doorways that you didn't even know existed. And believe me, going through, I'm no spring chicken, but up until now, there's been windows and doors I did not know were there. And when I get to those places where I am just, I have to change, then all of a sudden, the minute I relax and surrender into that, let it all go and just say, okay, I will do it, I will change, then there's more doors. And I'm like, where did those come from? How did that avenue happen? And this is why we're talking about CrossRoads, this month, because CrossRoads, we come to that place and we are at choice, and we are actually in a place of freedom when you hit a crossroad. Does that sound weird?
No, I get it.
Okay,
I
good.
really do get that.
Good, because that, at least that's been my experience, especially with the clients I work with. A lot of times people come up to a crossroads and they're like, I don't want to make a choice. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And they think they're supposed to go out and gather all this information and research, and then they can make a choice. But really what happens is you have freedom to do, be, whatever, whomever you want to be. And yes, you may need to do some research about it, but sometimes you really don't. You just need to go, okay, I've been going straight for so long, I think I'm going to go left now. Or I'm going to go right. And I'm just going to explore that. And it may not be the way after I get down that road, I may go, wow, this just kind of stopped. This path dead ended. You can go back, you can make another choice. So the freedom of choice, I guess I was living my life up until now, not recognizing how profound freedom is. And it begins in the mind. And it begins in the heart. And freedom is where we can create whatever we want. But we have got to come out of this place where we think we're limited and where we think we're small, because we're not. We're these most amazing, every single human being on this planet. I don't care, again, what color, race, diversity, creed, sex, choice. I don't care. We are all absolutely magnificent beings, here to be as magnificent as we are. Now, who would hate to do that? Why not? Why
I'm
not
really
be
glad I showed up today. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good to me.
Well, so that's what we're going to be celebrating and looking into on Living Your Inspired Life. That place where we are magnificent, so that we can develop our inner happiness, our inner freedom, which then, of course, once you develop it inside of you, you begin to see it outside of you. And some of this comes out of finding those places within yourself that, like we talked about earlier in the show, of where it might be dark and feel ooey, and you just kind of sweep it out or clean it up a little bit. You go into it and through it. It's not about sitting in the mush by any means. So, I digress, I think. So when you go to the website, it's under construction, livingyourinspiredlife.org, where it's becoming a dynamic website. So we're going to have some video pops on there that you can,
cool.
Yeah, we'll do some like teaching online through the videos that then it'll sync up with what you're listening to on the radio here on Sunday nights on News Talk 1590 KVTA. So I'm excited. This is like, wow.
It's very exciting.
And fun. I'm having fun.
I think I'm going through a change. I just heard a little crack in my voice.
Todd, you make me laugh. Todd Waddingon, you just make me laugh all the time. So I invite everyone to also, if you have questions as you're listening to the show that you want us to answer on air, you can send an email to myself or Todd. It would be Susan at livingyourinspiredlife.org or Todd at livingyourinspiredlife.org. And we'll print out the questions and we'll talk about them on air so that you get some a little personal attention there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Yeah. All right. So I'm thinking, is there anything else you want to say, Todd Waddingon?
I'm just delighted to be here today. I'm so glad you asked me to join you, and I'm looking forward to our conversations.
Yeah.
This was a great jumping off point.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm swimming. Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's just...
Backstroke.
We're going to... Oh, good. See, I'm going to dive deep, and you can do the backstroke, and together we'll get there.
I need the backstroke this week.
So this is Living Your Inspired Life with Susan Burrell on News Talk 1590 KVTA. We're here every Sunday night from 8 to 9, and I look forward to sharing this journey with you, developing a powerful, positive perspective in life. So I'm just going to say, and so it is, namaste.
Anytime I hit a roadblock, this is what I say. feel that I make it so real to manifest my destiny. I just think about what I'm saying. That's the magic key. Life is good. I just claim it. Let it go. Release and surrender. Playful out. Go for it now. Yes, I can. I know I can. Tell me more. I want to know what you're thinking. I am blessed. Truly grateful. Being now. Fully present. I love you. Yes, I do. When I trust my heart to say what's on my mind, the truth